What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here. The audio is a little different, recording from the hotel room on the laptop, so probably doesn't sound quite as crisp and clear as the normal videos will. Also, you may be noticing it's Sunday morning and there is no weekly sports card market update. That's because I'm traveling. I had the wonderful experience of the Philly card show this weekend, so we will do the weekly sports card market update for you on Monday morning. Today, I just kind of wanted to talk about the show, my thoughts, being at two bigger shows back to back. I was at Shipshawana last weekend, and now Philly this weekend. Just kind of talk show vibes, kind of what was moving, what the atmosphere in the room was like, traffic, all that sort of stuff. I actually had a really strong show. I picked up 5 cards, I think. I'm not going to talk about pickups in this video. I'm going to save those for probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I do not have my camera with me. And I want the camera to do those cards justice versus just using my phone or the webcam on the laptop. So, Philly show. I came in Friday afternoon, kind of late, did one quick lap of the show floor, big room. I think it's like 190 dealers, a lot of tables. Did one super quick lap just to kind of feel out the room. Actually made some pickups on Friday night, picked up 2 cards. I thought it was busy for a Friday afternoon. I talked to some dealers. I got mixed messaging. Some said that it was very slow for a Friday. Some said that it was pretty busy for a Friday. So I'll just say, from my perspective, for a Friday afternoon, which, people are still like, I got there at like 5:30. People are just getting off work, just getting out of school. I thought it felt pretty decently busy. It was not wall to wall. You could easily get up the tables. So it was actually kind of nice and relaxing. Saturday was slammed. I got in a little bit early. I got in with the dealers at around 8:30. Walked around, and by the show opened officially at 9. By 10 o'clock, it was super busy in there, and it was pretty tough to move around, especially in the autograph area. Now, this is a big autograph show. You'll see some of the guests pop up on the scroll here on the IG post. Really, really good. If you're local to here, tremendous autograph list. Lots of Phillies. Some 76ers were there. Tyrese Maxey was there. Tobias Harris was there. A bunch of different Eagles, Phillies, etc. Tons of great local and some bigger guys too signing. I didn't do any of that. That's not what I'm here for. But that brings a lot of people into the building. So it is hard to decipher how much of the foot traffic is there for cards and how much are just there to get the autographs, and then they're just casually roaming around. Once again, talk to dealers. They all seem to be, or at least most, seem to be having a pretty strong weekend. The same general vibe seems to be, it's the same stuff we've been talking about for a couple months now. High end is just tougher to move for cash. People want to trade into it. You get into that $1,000 price range and more, people don't want to put cash on the table. But if you are sub $500 and really even more like sub $200, you're seeing a lot of people, I don't want to say impulse buy, but much more willing to throw cash around on that sort of stuff. So depending on how good or bad your show was probably determined by your inventory price point. Even if you're well priced on your high-end stuff, it's just tricky to move that stuff once you start getting into those upper-end price points. What was hot? Baseball. A lot of people buying up baseball. There was a ton of J-Rod in the room. A lot of people were looking for Ohtani, and a lot of people were first Bowman hunting. A lot of prospect hunters and a lot of first Bowman in the building. Also, a lot of vintage in the building. This show is known as a vintage show. I'd probably say a solid 30 to 35% of the show floor was vintage. And then a lot of other dealers had vintage mixed in. But, I'm not hanging out at vintage tables too much, but Bowman prospects were definitely moving. A lot of people buying, selling, trading, asking for names of 13-year-old Venezuelan first Bowman rookie auto prospects. All sorts of craziness with baseball prospects. But generally speaking, baseball was very, very popular. Not surprising there. A lot of people looking for Walker from the Cardinals, Lawler from the Diamondbacks, plus the normal crop of the new kids. The Phillies prospect, I'm forgetting his name right now. Bryson Scott, I forget. His stuff was moving really well. Obviously, it's Phillies territory, so that makes sense. But lots of first Bowman stuff was definitely moving. And the other big takeaway was QB prospecting. A lot of people looking for Jordan Love. A lot of people looking for Justin Fields after the trade went down yesterday afternoon, or Friday afternoon, rather. So that was definitely a theme. People looking for that next hype on the quarterback train. Decent, not a ton. I didn't see much buzz around Aaron Rodgers. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens when that trade actually goes down. If it goes down to him going to the Jets or what happens there. Decent amount of Lamar Jackson on the show floor. Nothing super crazy, but those were the two big things: baseball and QB prospecting. Baseball prospecting and QB prospecting definitely ruled the roost at the Philly show, I would say. Dealer prices. Actually thought, and I'll date this back to Ship Shawana as well, were their dealers ridiculously overpriced? Yes. But to me, at least the interactions I had, people seem much more in line with where they need to be. I'll talk about it more in my specific pickup video, but there was multiple cards that I asked about, and the dealer was pretty much within 5% of the last couple sales. And then we would negotiate a little bit off that number, depending on, how much I wanted the card and how much room they had. But it was encouraging. I had definitely way more walk up, ask for a price, and me not being like, oh, that's actually, a pretty decent price. I had way more of those than, excuse me. I didn't ask what you're into it for. I asked what you had it priced at. I definitely had some of those. There was a Morant Optic Hollow PSA 9. I was like, oh, if I could sneak into some Ja on the cheap, on the dip, if his stuff's dipped enough and I could get a good deal on it, I'll take a low risk shot on some Optic Hollow 9s. So what I typically like to do is when I see a card at a table, take a couple steps away, pull up the comp, just so I have a general idea in my head when I walk back up and ask the price, and they throw a number out if we're even in the ballpark on it. So the last three, since the news broke, were all around like $80, 80, 85, 75, maybe 190 thrown in there. I don't remember exactly, but they were all in that price range. So I said, what do you add on the Optic Hollow 9? And he said, 150. And I said, okay, and then quickly walked away. There was another one, a Soto Rainbow Foil. They're consistently going for about $500, give or take $50 either way. I've seen some for $450, some for $550, some for $5. And I asked the dealer what he had in on it, or what he had it listed for, and he said $900. And I said, okay, good luck, sir. Have a good rest of your show. So, it would really vary depending table to table. But like I said, that was the minority of my dealer interactions were priced that way. The majority were definitely more in line with where I thought they needed to be. And I could backdate that to the Ship show as well. When I was in Ship Shawana, kind of the same thing. Was there some dealers that were still trying to live in 2021? Yeah. But most of the rooms seemed to be adjusting to the new world order. And we talked about this towards the end of the year and in the beginning of the year. The further and further we move away, and the more and more these cards change hands, the better off we're all going to be. That just makes things better for all of us. Because as these cards change hands, then the last number is not dating back to 2021. So maybe they're going to loss on it, but maybe it's only 10% down instead of 70% down. Like some of these cards were for some of these people. So the further and further we move away from those 2021 numbers, 2022 numbers, the better off we will all be, and we could get back to just doing transactions. So that was encouraging to see. But like I said, the room was packed. How much of it was card transactions, it's hard to say. But there was definitely, to be fair, on the opposite end of the spectrum, it was tough getting up to a table on Saturday afternoon. Like in the middle of the day, myself, Dustin, Flipping Steve went out for lunch. and we left about 2 or 3 o'clock. And it was kind of tough to get to a table leading up to that point. You had to kind of really work for it just to get up to a showcase and to talk to a dealer. So even if the people were there just for autographs, they were interacting with the dealers as well. Because like I said, it was pretty tough just to get in front of a table. When we got back from lunch, there was like an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes left in the show. It had thinned out just a little bit. Now, I'm not going to the show on Sunday. As you are all watching this, I am driving across Pennsylvania heading home. So I won't know what the show finished up like on Sunday. I just wanted to say a shout out to everyone that came up and said hello. You know who you are. Met a lot of great people, both people that I've met in the past, that I'm seeing again in person, and then people that I have never met before. I got a chance, like I said, to hang out with Dustin and Steve for most of the morning. We did lunch together. Met Andy, the sports card investigator, for the first time in person. Hung out with Gemrate for a little bit in the evening and at trade night, and a handful of other people. Ryan from Breakout Cards, talked to him for a quick minute at trade night, not for very long, just basically said hello. But good time overall. It was definitely worth the trip. Did I make money on this trip? Probably not, but I had a hell of a fun time, and it was great hanging out with friends, talking to people, getting the vibes, picking up some good deals. But, with travel expenses and stuff, I didn't really sell anything. I did not make any deals at trade night. Spoilers for the pickup video. All my deals came in the show floor itself. So, but I think I got really good. Everything I picked up, I was really happy with. Really, really happy with. So we'll do that video, like I said, probably Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, probably Tuesday. We'll knock that one out. We'll do weekly sports card market update tomorrow. Sorry, it's a day late, but we'll get that up on Monday. Recap video or pickups video on Tuesday. The other thing we got brewing this week, my ComC grades all popped. Yeah. The CSG ones actually popped about 2 weeks ago. That was about 4 weeks dead on for the CSG bulk submission. But I wanted to wait for the CGC grades to pop too and do it all in one. And those pop this weekend. So we will have a ComC grading reveal video at some point in time this week. And then I have another grading reveal video coming back for some stuff from CGC from the McFarland signing. Those got shipped back while I was gone, so I have to pick those up at FedEx probably. And then I would like to do a live stream, maybe at the back half of the week, and rip a box of Fleer Ultra Avengers live. I did the 2 pre-recorded videos. I'd like to hang out, rip one live, and chit-chat with all you guys and girls. So that's what the week looks like. We will catch you boys and girls on the next one. If you have a chance to get out to the Philly show and you've never been, highly recommend it if it's in your general scope of things. I definitely felt great about, coming out, getting the hotel room, doing the whole thing. Had a great time overall, so can't say enough good things. Show was great. Promoter was really good. Everything was great. So catch you guys and girls on the next one. Peace.